it's, I never sort of think, well, I didn't have a choice. It's like, well, you do, and it's the subtleties. It's not black and white. It's yes or no. It's like, yes, this is how it's going to look, or it's no, this is how it's going to be, and constantly looking outside the box to what your choices are.
Yeah, so I see. So we do always have a choice. We may not always have the choice that we would want, but we do always have choices.
Oh, absolutely. And sometimes, the reason why you don't feel you have a choice is because you don't want to upset the apple cart. You don't want to make somebody angry, or you don't want to be rejected or disliked. And so that really is what's influencing whether you have a choice or not, or you don't want to get caught. You're blackmailed. It's like, I don't have a choice. It's like, well, you could face the music.
Yeah.
But really, it comes down to often your values and even questioning, well, what's stopping me from choosing this if it's not necessarily what I want? I'm being forced to do this. Yeah, and it really comes down to, again, being conscious of the choices you're making, and conscious of having a choice. Is this really what I want to do? It's like, oh, I've got to go to this do or this party, or I've got to get this. And like, well, do you?
Yeah, I get it. So yeah, so yes, you always have a choice, and it's are you able or prepared to go with the consequences of making choices? Sometimes, I guess, is the important thing to consider.
Yeah, and then is up for even deeper exploration. It's like, well, if you make this choice, what are you then afraid of? What's your fear there? And becoming aware of that, or what's your excuse again, doubt, and just building your awareness of it, so you're not just reacting, being reflexive. You're consciously making your choices and decisions, and considering it all, and considering the consequences. And then if you have a fear there with the consequences, facing that and maybe overcoming that.
Nice. Yes, I like that. There was a word that you mentioned during part of that, which you've mentioned a few times. Values, and you and I know what values are, but just for our listener who may or may not know what's meant by values, how would you define values? What are they, and how can you figure out? Do I have any values? What are they? How can I figure out what they are? And why are they important?
You definitely do. Well, that basically are what's important to you. What's important to you in life, or what's important to you in a relationship, what's important to you in a career. They are your values, and you only focus on what's important to you. So, a common value is honesty or freedom or security. If you value security, then your decisions will reflect that. Less likely to take risks, and less likely to perhaps go off and create a business on the fly versus what's going to help me with security with my family or financially, etc. So it's really important that the relationships work by having mutual values that you share, because you basically share that importance in life and put a priority on that.
Got it.
I know that was a big part of my change in my identity, from changing from valuing sport to valuing other parts of my other parts of the career, and valuing freedom and value. Well, I always valued freedom in certain ways. Valuing. I mean, I didn't have a lot of financial security with my sport. and definitely didn't have wealth with that. And so it was like making some shifts in what was my focus. But some values are very instilled and are a very big part of who I am and what I do. One value that I took to the top of my list, just by being aware of it, really was love. And that really changed everything for finding love in my life. Before that, I was like, I valued relationships, and I had relationships in my life. I had important business relationships and lots of friends. But it wasn't until I embraced love in my life as a value that I got to meet Stephen, the love of my life.
Oh, nice. So our values not only do our values kind of, I guess, in a way govern opportunities that we see and kind of inform and guide us in our actions, but our values can also change or be changed in order to give us different outcomes in life. Is that true?
It can, and it comes out of a desire to change. With all this change, you can't change anything you don't want to change. But it comes. You've got to be aware of what your values are, writing them down, what's important to you, writing them all down, and being aware of the priority. What's most important, what's second most important, and being honest with yourself with what that really is, because the results in your life will tell you what is important. Because you could say, hey, I value health. What are you doing about it? If you valued health, you would be eating better, or you would be exercising or doing things that affects your health. If you're not, then you may value health, but it's really down a little bit lower on your priority scale versus the things that you are doing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, yeah. That certainly makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah. I guess if someone, I don't know, if money was very low down on their values, I guess that's probably going to show up in their bank account and the amount of wealth that they have in their life, and the same with basically any value. So I suppose you can get an idea of what your values are by just seeing what you have or don't have in your life, in a way.
Absolutely. So that is, your environment. How do you keep your house and cleanliness versus or neatness versus, hey, I haven't got time because my focus is on my career, and spending long hours travel, or you value freedom. I remember working with someone. He valued freedom. He wanted his freedom now, but wasn't willing to do the work that gave him his freedom. It's not really quite working for you, because you've got to put in a bit of time to developing that freedom. Although it is not, and there's no right or wrong with this. It's what's important to you. Some people have that freedom and go without money and create a great life for themselves, because that's what they want. They want to keep it simple, or maybe it's not so simple. I don't know, but it's whatever you want in your life. And not what other people want.
Yeah, and that last bit is such an important thing for us to get. It's what we as individuals want, not what other people want us to want. That's ultimately what ought to be driving us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which brings,
nice.
What do I want?
Yeah. Yeah. It brings us full circle. That's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been making some changes around our house and everything, and husband asked, what do you want with this? And I was like, I just don't know. And I'm not going to force a decision, but until my heart says no, I really want this, then focusing on what it is you do want. And sometimes and maybe if you're listening to this, maybe you think, well, I don't know what I want, and be okay with that, but just start scribbling. Well, abstract ideas. Well, this is important. This is. It'd be nice to have this. Whether it's thinking about a particular job. What are some aspects of that? Whether it's freedom of hours or the people that you work with. What are the values in that? What are definitely characteristics for my dream man, and and Stephen instills them. Thinking we had similar interests in wine, that was important to me, and we have a lot of those things, and it's putting it down on a list and sort of detaching from it, just letting it go, but just created that clarity can make that happen.
Nice, beautiful. So it is all about change, and as you said, you absolutely can make the changes that you want happen. You can be the game changer in your own life. The key to it is clarity, daring to dream, belief, make it happen. And you can absolutely architect the change that you want to make in your life.
No excuses.
No excuses. I like that one. Hey, Annette, it's been absolutely fantastic catching up with you again. I've loved our chat. I've certainly learned a few things from this, as I always do whenever we have a chat. I always come away head spinning, going, "Oh my God, I never thought of things that way before." So it's been another one of those. How can people get in touch with you, Annette, if they want to find out a bit more about you, about what you do, about how you could maybe help them? What's a good way for them to get in touch with you?
Well, the first thing they can do is go to AnnetteLynchSpeaking.com, and I believe you've got that on your site. AnnetteLynchSpeaking.com. Unfortunately, Annette Lynch was taken, so and I am a speaker.
Yeah.
Speaking.com, and there's a link to free stuff at the very top, so they can download a guide and checklist for game changing. There's also a guide and checklist for if they want to work on their presentation skills and speaking. With all my speaking, I'm also a speaker trainer, but I'm really passionate about the change aspect, and so they can download that and get a taste of have they got what it takes. And with the checklist, it's really taking an honest look. Sometimes like, I set goals, but really, there's deeper questions to ask about that. And the other website is Success Beyond Sport, and that's my book, and it's an online program as well to take you through the 8 steps. So we can go deeper into clearing up the beliefs and values. That's an important part of that program, and looking at how you play the game, being in a state of winning, basically, and how that can influence you. Also looks at your identity. I talked about the change in my identity from athlete to being more than that, and how you want to step out of your identity so that you're not limiting yourself, not limiting your game.
Yeah, awesome. So just a reminder of those sites, and you're right, they're on the page for this episode as well. But a reminder of the sites, AnnetteLynchSpeaking.com. And on there, you can grab some really good quality free stuff, and SuccessBeyondSport.com, which is your 8-step program, which kind of started it all, I guess. Your 8-step program specifically around sport, but it applies generally in life as well. And Success Beyond Sport is also the name of your book as well, which is available on Amazon and all good bookshops.
You've been listening to the Confidence Alchemist radio show. To find out more, visit theconfidencealchemist.com.
I can do anything. I can reach any goal today. I can do what I want. I can be what I want to be.
Coach on Fire Radio.